Is up? It's your boy Rockstar Gaming here again. So, of course, we're still in the lab. More tech to come as the day goes on. But here's the latest thing I kind of discovered. Um, this one's pretty interesting. This one, it's got a lot of caveats. Not every situation is uniform or universal, but there are some rules. And this whole thing is on no, not key blasts, to specific beam blasts. Um, Keep in mind the term blast is used in multiple contexts in this game, but in this case, it's talking about your special moves. So any move that is triggered by R2 and square, mostly. Sometimes some characters have an R2 triangle that also is a beam blast, and then a lot of characters have a beam blast that's R2 circle when you're in sparking. Okay, cool. So getting that out the way. Um, as you probably already know, there is a such thing called impacts in this game. Impacts are when two opponents are fighting each other and they do the same action simultaneously, and it triggers like a little quick time event QTE mini game where you have to do something better than your opponent to win. So you might not see these often because a lot of times in battles, people aren't really using blast unless they're trying to spam from a range, or they're trying to like end not blast, beam blast. They're not usually using beam blast unless they're trying to spam the beam blast or end a combo with the beam blast. So I'm in training right now, and I've been just testing between a bunch of different characters. Um, I'm going to share the rules of how this works and then demonstrate those rules, and then kind of throw in some other little tricks on the way. That being said, so check this out. Anytime you go to explanation of controls, you can go to your character and it'll show some of their, pretty much all of the unique things that they have available to them. You can scroll through and see what those things are. Now, the thing is, you have to understand what you're looking for to even find those things. Let me see. I might even have not movement or step. Just trying to prove my own statement with step in, sway. Yeah. Okay. So, case in point, um, speed characters. I might have mentioned this before. Speed characters and some power-based characters have a step and sway. What is a step and sway? It's when you press step in when you're close to someone, and you press R1. It'll let you do like a secondary dodge, which gives you more iframes to dodge your opponent's rush attacks, because it's only when you're close. But not every character will have that. Um, but alongside that, some of the other things it'll show you is like each character's combos, blah blah blah. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let me get to the thing. So when you go to the explanation of controls, you come here. This is the front page. It'll show you all your moves that you have. These are your two skills, your two blasts, that's what they're called, and then your ultimate blast. Um, in there, it'll show the category and then what it can do and the key required. So Dispo's R2 and square is called Justice Crusher, and it shoots a beam. Now it's categorized as a beam, but it doesn't shoot a continuous wave like a lot of other beams do, like Kamehameha. It shoots these two blast balls that come out simultaneously. They move extremely quickly, as do most blasts, but he has a little bit of a startup once you do it, and he does a cutscene, so it tells your opponent that you're doing it regardless of where you are. Whereas some others, like Master Roshi's, um, wait, not Master Roshi, no, Krillin, excuse me. Krillin's does not give a cutscene. He'll just like start charging it, and any of the chargeable beams don't have cutscenes typically. Um, so why is the cutscene part important? Here's why. Aside from the whole screen stopping for both players and them you telling them, "Hey, I'm about to hit you with a blast attack," um, it also stops time and lets you initiate your blast attack in turn instead of having a normal startup time like a charge one would. So let's start to show you in application. Now I'll probably just upload or edit in the clip that I got with Dispo clashing with Roshi, because the timing is extremely hard. But let's see if I can do it this first try, and if not, then I'm just gonna let it be. Okay, so that's one, knocked him over. Also, you can change the settings for... Nope, he didn't do it. You can change the settings for the opponent to do blasts, and I'll show you how in a second. Okay, it did it. So it might still hit him. Yep, because it moves so quickly. You notice he didn't even finish the cutscene before it hit him, because it just goes so quick. So this is how some blast moves work. We'll see if I can.
I am its creator.
I'm also going to do a super perception. Oop, JK, got smacked.
Justice?
Yeah. This is taking too long, so I'm going to move on. But just know that if you actually are able to time these two out, they will clash. And it will clash with any ultimate beam as well, which is crazy, even unblockable ones. So, that being said, I'm going to go in and change my character to... This is Goku mid, and it's the one that has access to just Super Saiyan 1. This is one of the caveats, because as you can see, Spirit Bomb is categorized as fire, but it is an ultimate move. Now, typically, fire moves, and I can show you this in another circumstance, typically fire moves, if they're in the blast category, so B1 or B2, they will not clash with a beam. They'll get beaten out by a beam unless they move fast enough to hit the opponent before the beam comes out. But in specific cases, Spirit Bomb is one of the few where, because it's an ultimate and it's fire, when it clashes with a beam type, it'll trigger the impact clash. So I'm gonna demonstrate right now. I think this should work against his normal, because he's not doing his ultimate version. This charge up is mad long. And then the computer's just gonna go boop. Okay, so it's not, yeah, it's... I don't think he initiates it fast enough, but if you come here, so that's on beam type blast. If I actually change this to have him get max sparking, then he'll prioritize his sparking instead. So let's see if this one works. So I'm just spamming that at top. Get that going. And then he's going to do his ultimate. And I hope this works. Nope. I started mine too fast. Actually, I think if I'd let him do his first, and then I do mine. Please excuse the delays. This is already becoming longer than it needs to be. Working on making my videos a bit more concise. So this should hopefully work. Boom. Some cool elements about Spirit Bomb too that I'll explain after this. Okay, so now they clashed. Typically, it's only beam to beam. Also, look, 28k. What happened was the combination of the damage from my move, but like slightly scaled, and his move slightly scaled, added together to be one massive damage, and whoever takes that is just getting cooked. Absolutely fried. So, that being said, I'm going to explain a couple of other elements that help you win these impacts. Any character, so when you do a move and then it says boost right there, that little boost in that first screen, when you hit boost there, it boosts the damage. Now, if you hit boost in the middle of a clash, it does not affect the damage at all. I repeat, it does not affect the damage at all. So once you see the impact clash minigame come up, pressing boost is not going to make you do more damage. All it does is increases your chance at building the invisible meter that you and your opponent are building up in order to win the clash. So I'll explain. And if you don't already know, so check this out. When the impact is going, especially on like beam impacts, what's happening is there's a meter that's passively going up, and I'll explain. There's a meter on the bottom middle that's passively going up, and you have to wait until it gets full to press triangle. So you don't press anything until it gets to the top. So I'll show you now. I pressed it once. Now if I hit boost, now you see that? Boom. So my damage is exactly the same, but if I was playing an actual opponent, their meter that they're building, I'm giving myself a higher chance of winning because I'm basically putting more points towards the getting it to be my win for the impact clash. That being said, when you hit the boost, it just extends that meter just a tiny bit to give you a bigger opportunity. Like if you're playing against like a pro and you're in a circumstance like this, it's probably one of the few circumstances in the entire game where it might be worth burning out in order to win that clash, because if they choose the burnout and you get cooked and your health is not like max, you're probably going to lose that character. So if it's DP, you're losing them and moving on, and if it's singles, that's the game. But as you probably know, if you burn out, then you're just also sitting there for a long time, and you have to spam the face buttons in order to get out of it. Um, so that is just kind of a little thing on impact clashes, or excuse me, beam clashes, and why they're how to kind of work around them. One element, here's a little tech though that I've been discovering, is depending on the circumstance and the opponent and like how the person you're playing against plays, you can actually use these beam clashes to your advantage. Here's what I mean, and listen to this carefully. When someone uses an ultimate beam, you can, if you are positioned well and time it correctly, you can clash their ultimate beam with your normal beam, and it will give you priority. It won't give you priority. It'll neutralize the initial onset of the attack. Why is this helpful? There are some beams that, of course, just pretty much every ultimate beam is going to do a lot of damage. Some do ridiculous damage if it's a high tier character, and others are just straight up unguardable. You cannot block them. You have to Z what is it? High speed movement to get out of the way and do the little teleport vanish thing. Um, so a way that you can kind of control the flow a little bit, if you're really aware of this and like you kind of know the opponent already and your character, is you can trigger, instead of just going straight into and actually I'm going to change something up a little so you can see it. Instead of trying to block it or dodge it or do some of the other stuff, and if you're really good at those, kudos to you. I'm usually good at them, but when you're online it changes the timing a little bit, and that really messes me up. So I'm going to show you what happens when Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, as you probably know, is one of the most busted characters in the game. And Krillin. Actually, is this going to work with Krillin? You know what? No. I'm going to do... brain fart. Who has a cutscene? I think he does have a cutscene, actually. Hopefully this is fast enough. So I'm going to set him to do his ultimate attack. So I reset it because the character changed, so I have to go in and max out all the settings again. And then right here, opponent settings, you want to either go to ultimate blast, and if the opponent has sparking all the way up, they're going to immediately trigger a blast every single time. This is a really good way to train your high-speed movement to dodge those, as well as how to like figure out how to get clashes going properly. And the other option is if you go all the way to the end, you'll see beam type blasts. That's the other way. That'll get him to do any kind of beam type, depending on like, no matter what, as long as he has the key for it. And if there's any of these little opponent settings you don't see, some of them you actually have to buy them from the in-game shop. Just a little tip for those that don't already know. Kind of an interesting mechanic, but you can set those for your CPU to get more ways to play. Okay, so now that I have it set up, he's probably going to immediately do the clash. So here's my normal one. Just to speak on it, that was my R2 and square, so not my ultimate attack, aka I can get this without doing sparking. I only need 3 bars of key, and he's doing his ultimate super like map destroying crazy move that's gonna like blow everything up. And watch what happens. So they clashed. What this means is that I can now negate his advantage, and if I'm good at the impact, I use his own damage against him in momentum, and I just did almost 30k. That is going to completely destroy people that spam um, ultimate unblockables, because by doing that, you're now taking basically like I can imagine it's like someone swinging a sword at you and you like just grab the sword and like stab them with it, kind of thing, with your bare hands. Like it's a complete shift of momentum that most people are not going to expect. And if they get good at it, then so be it. And again, like I said, if you're willing to burn yourself out or even just hit 2 boost instead of 3 on the key and the impact clash, you can still win a lot of those, excuse me, interactions, and that's going to be really, really good for you. So that's just some fun stuff with that. Now I'm going to talk about 2 other caveats about this, as well as other little unique elements on some characters. Starting with this version, Goku mid. So I'm actually put this back to normal. So now it stands still. All my settings are right. Now reset positions. One crazy thing about Goku mid as I was labbing. Goku mid is the one that fights Frieza, basically. So this is him right before he gets Super Saiyan 1, and then you see my transformations. I have that available as a transformation. One trick that's unique to Goku mid, I haven't seen any other versions of Goku that have this. Maybe they exist, but I don't know about it yet. But he has a really crazy skill move called Give Me Your Energy. What this does, and some people I've already been using it, is it'll actually start to charge the damage for your Spirit Bomb. So I'm just going to give you an example. Here's me doing Spirit Bomb, completely neutral, no combo, unboosted. Watch the damage. Mind you, this is an unblockable attack. So no, like you cannot block this. You can only vanish it or clash it. So that was 14k, right? I just did 14k on that move with no boosties, no nothing. Check this out. If I hit Gimme Your Energy, that little counter pulls up. Mind you, that counter will disappear if I switch characters and then switch back to him. So right now, I went right back to Goku. Now it's gone, right? But aside from that, it will stay there indefinitely. It will never disappear unless you switch out or die. So that is a Spirit Bomb booster. Now, what actually happens is, if you look at the explanation, Give Me Your Energy says, increases Ultimate Blast Spirit Bomb power. Can be used together up to 3 times. So that means you can do this periodically throughout the fight as you get the skill count for it. And instead of using your skill count for defensive or other stuff, you can actually just keep boosting this. So now this is level 2. Now this is level 3. Remember I did 14.5k on that last Spirit Bomb? I'm going to do a Spirit Bomb again. I'm also going to boost it a little bit to just really give away... Actually, no, I'm not going to boost it. I'm just going to show you exactly what it does. So that was level 3 now that I just did. 14.5 was the damage from before. This was boosted times 3 with that special move. Give Me Your Energy. 23.5. That is almost a 10k increase. 9k. Now, if you think that's crazy, it gets wilder. Check this out. So if I stack 3 levels of Give Me Your Energy. Boom. Right? 3 levels. Now on top of that, he has another move called I Can't Wait, and I'm going to show you what it says. I Can't Wait, level 2, his skill 2, excuse me. Melee attack power, Ki Blast attack power, blast power, defense, and movement speed increases for 15 seconds. That's a pretty cracked one. They don't always do all of that. That's like a lot of bonuses. So another trick is when you do these, so I just activated I Can't Wait. If you see, I'm going to unpause it, and then you'll see right where those icons are that you showed up, there's a number next to them. Every boost in the game has a level system from 1 to 3. So if your boost has a little number on the icon under your health bar, the 1 means it's the level 1, so it's a slight increase. 2 is a moderate. 3 is a great increase. So I just moderately increased all of my stats that were mentioned with this boost, with that skill. So now they're at level 2. See that? So now I'm going to do my Spirit Bomb, boost the attack of damage of the Spirit Bomb. I have 3 levels of I Can't Wait, or not I Can't Wait, Give Me Your Energy, and I triggered I Can't Wait, which is a percentage boost, I believe. Watch how much damage it does. Remember, the first one was 14.5k. Here's the boost on Spirit Bomb. Unblockable attack. He's taking this full damage. 29k. That is about 30k damage. And if you're already aware, 10k is 1 health bar. So that's basically 3 whole health bars of an unblockable move for a, this is either a 4 count or a 5 count character in DP. That's busted. Granted, the setup and preparation and all the stuff that it takes to get to that is a lot, but if you're passively doing this while the opponent isn't fully aware, and then you hit them with an unblockable ultimate, you're cooking somebody's whole life. And I'm not going to do it right now because it's going to take too many, it's too like specific, but if I can beam clash somebody, like his ultimate, when we beam clash normally it was almost 30k by itself without any boost or anything. So if I were to do all those stacks against the beam clash, I'm probably doing like 45 to 50k, which is a one shot on every single character in the entire game, unless I'm mistaken on some like special circumstance, but nobody can take that much damage. So instant kill, really crazy. Moving on. So that's Goku mid. Here's Krillin. I love Krillin. I've always loved him since I was a kid. I used to have this little like Dragon Ball Z Krillin toy that had movable joints, and as you know, if you're from back then, a movable joint Dragon Ball Z character or toy was crazy. Like they just didn't exist. So Krillin has a special place in my heart. Now Krillin, before I even get into the other thing that I was going to show you, as I mentioned before, your Ki Blast, everyone can do a charged Ki Blast, and it's usually a special effect. A lot of the lower level characters have very unique special effects on their charge blast, instead of just like most higher level characters just either blast a really really fast thing or like another slow thing that kind of is like a wall. So that is a wall that will stop other smaller Ki Blasts, as well as really throw off someone's timing if they're trying to charge Ki. Super helpful for controlling space. Another thing that Krillin has is if you jump and then hold, your charge actually becomes a Destructo Disc. I saw someone do it online. I was like, how the heck do I do that? And then I realized this is how you do it. And you can do it from like a really short level. It's hard to get the timing, but you can do it without even going that high in the air. And then if I go like that, yeah. Anyway, so Krillin's dope. One other thing about Krillin that I really love, for a level 2 character, or no, excuse me, level 3 character, he has Kamehameha, and it's just a chargeable one. So that's full charged on him. It's not really doing that much damage because he's a low level character. But because he has Kamehameha as a beam, not only will it clash with a special if you're able to time it right, it's harder because he doesn't have a cutscene stop, but also because it's a beam type, a piercing beam type. Ooh, that did not work. I think I have to be a higher level character, honestly. Hold on, let me try this one more time. No, I think I just have to be a higher level character. There, so that, you saw how it busted through the hourglass and then hit my opponent. With characters that are higher levels, that will actually break through all of that and just hit them so people can't camp. But one other caveat about Krillin, and he is one that represents many, he has this move. His ultimate is Chain Destructo Disc. Continuous fire, unguardable, really dope. And if I hit them, I'll show you what it looks like when I actually hit them. It hits him like 3 or 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on that fourth one, if it connects properly and the other 3 connected, it'll do this final cutscene that does the full damage for the attack. And it does 13.5. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a low level character. So now I'm going to show you something really crazy. Remember how I said that beam attacks only can clash with beam attacks unless it's a fire that is an ultimate? Well, because Krillin's is a fire type that's an ultimate, he is able to actually destroy most ultimate beam attacks, and then because it's a combo, his will still hit the opponent. It doesn't hit for full damage and it doesn't trigger the cutscene, but if you're in like a really tight situation and the other person used their move and you're just trying to like finish the damage on them because it's unguardable, they're either gonna get hit because they're trying to block it, or they're if you're clashing with them, you're gonna blast through their clash and then win. This I tried this in training earlier. Hopefully it doesn't like fail me right now and make me sound crazy. But beam type, okay. So now here's my ult. Here's his ult. Remember, this is the strongest character in the game basically, doing his ultimate. And boop bop boop bop boop boop boop. I just went through his, broke it, and hit him for 3k damage. Obviously 3k is like barely anything, but to be able to cancel an opponent's ultimate just because you've decided this is how you're going to do it, that's pretty crazy. And again, I could cancel that with a beam, but not all beams are going to do a cutscene and then shoot off in time unless it's an ultimate beam. So yeah, that is about it for this video. Again, a lot of these are going to be long form because I'm just like in the lab. I'm trying to separate them enough so that you can take little chunks of them, but I don't want to make like 40 videos and make them all short form. So that is pretty much the conclusion. Let me think. Is there anything else that I forgot? I think that's about it. Another... Oh, I mean, I should send this for another video, but I'm just going to talk about it real quick just because it's in my mind. So check this out. Here is Super Saiyan Blue Goku. When you switch in, you see on the top, right next to the skill count, there's the switch icon, which is the flashing yellow, and then there's the little arrow up with 1. That arrow up with 1 means my transformations. The 1 means how many transformations I have available, and the icon being present at all means that I'm available to transform. Usually it's like a skill count thing or a timing thing with the transfer in. Sometimes I've been in matches where I didn't understand this and I got blasted because I'm like trying to switch frantically while avoiding taking damage and I just get killed for it. Very frustrating until you understand what's happening. So I'm going to power down to base level Goku. Right? Base level Goku. Cool. Now you see how the blue's not there and now it just showed back up? That means that there's a window between transformations. You can't go 1, 2, 3, 4 like instantly from transformation to transformation. Not like a huge thing, but I feel like of all the things in game that it shows, like the tutorials, I've never really seen it explain that super well. And oh, look at that. Here's the destructive disc. That's unblockable. Didn't even realize. This is Goku Super. So anyway, now I come here, I can go to any of the transformations and I have 3 options to choose from. Pretty sweet. And just I know like lore wise and just common sense, a lot of times people are like, oh, you want to switch to your last level like as soon as possible. Granted, yes, it is definitely a damage boost on your main combos. I'll demonstrate real quick. Here's an auto combo. I'm just spamming square with no extra combo changes. Oh, that isn't working sparking. Hold up. Let me switch that. Wow. Brain fart. Okay, here we go. Key gauge, normal. What? That's kind of busted. It's not showing my sparking option. It's weird. Okay, cool. So, okay, it's on min now. Gotta love it. Okay, normal. Boom. We are at normal. I can charge. What was I even saying? Alright, so here's a combo. Auto combo. Boop, bop, boop. Spamming square. That's all. 5407. So now I'm going to go to Super Saiyan 1.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Auto combo. 6k. So from 5400 to 6k. Pretty good jump. I'm jumping straight to blue.
Do you want
Auto
to
combo.
what I'm capable of?
6.5. So 6.5k. Pretty good damage boost on auto combo, just like your normal melee. Most of your stuff is going to get increased. But here's the thing. When you have a character that has a lot of transformations, it's actually sometimes really beneficial to not go to the max level every time. And here's why. It's pretty obvious, but there's some nuance to it. Every version is a different character, which means they have different combos, auto combos, different skills, different routes, and different key blast charges. So like I saw, that's Destructo Disc. If I switch to Goku 1,
Kept you waiting, huh?
it's no, oh, wait. That is not Destructo Disc. When I charge, it's a key blast. A curving big key blast. So, and on top of that, oh, I need more key. So, right? So he has a turnaround. The other Goku, I think it does too, but not every version of Goku, I believe, does. So yeah, it changes some things, and then on top of that, like Wild Sense is pretty dope. If you don't already know, it's basically it's like a substitution jutsu essentially. So once I used it, now it's grayed out. That's because I have it activated, and it would have taken 2 skill points if I wasn't maxed out in the training mode. And then all-encompassing power. For him, it gives you all key but not sparking, but then it gives you a damage boost on everything, which will then affect like my ultimate. Because of those inherent damage boosts, I could potentially get more damage on certain things because of that. I said ultimate, that was not my ultimate, that was my rush attack. Another thing to keep in mind, because I just mentioned rush attack and it reminded me. Sorry, this video is getting really long, but most characters have a special rush attack. Some versions of characters do not, and that's okay. Some characters only have rush attacks. Rush attacks are cool, but also you got to be careful with it, because if I'm all the way over here, and then I'm like, ooh, I want to hit this guy with a special, and I hit rush attack, I'm going to have to travel across the map to get to him. That's annoying. But there's 2 things about rush attacks to keep in mind. One is that this is also a rush. Your rush attack, you can actually move. So check this out. Actually, no, that's not gonna work. Never mind. Imagine that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was to shoot me with a blast attack, and I knew he was gonna shoot me. So I see him charging it up. I can actually activate my rush and then move. This one's a little more straight, but some rushes actually let you curve a bit more. You can move out of the way for some things, or like some combos you'll hit them and they'll be angled weird, and you have to actually like divert your camera down and like move downwards that to still hit them. Another thing is that if someone else does a rush attack on me, let's see. And by rush, I mean like rush blast. So where they're dashing into me. So not rush attack, excuse me, or rush chain, but rush type blast. So I just vanished that, Right now I'm just gonna hold block,
Here comes my ultimate attack.
and then it turns into like we bump heads basically. Now if I were to do this instead, mind you, he had to use in a normal setting 4 ki to activate that move, which is like not a small amount. Um, if I were to go,
Here comes my ultimate attack.
nah, that didn't work. Hold on. Basically, what I'm trying to say is a normal Dragon Dash can actually trigger a clash for rush attacks. I don't know why he's not just jumping straight into it. It's kind of annoying and not helping my demonstration. Let's see.
Here comes my ultimate attack.
Right there. So I just triggered a clash because of that. With that, I wasted his whole thing, and I started with another move. You can also just dodge it and then hit him with a Kamehameha or whatever. That's actually going to do better damage. But sometimes, based off of like positioning and angle, and like maybe you can't move out the way quick enough, or you don't trust that you'll get your high speed movement in time, doing a Dragon Dash in place of all that will actually just force them to waste their move and trigger a clash. Which is sometimes it's just a cheeky way to get them. And keep in mind, this is one of the hardest clashes in my opinion, because a majority of the time you're activating it with the hopes of getting in a rush attack or a rush chain. But the thing with that is the QTE button is square, so you're probably already spamming square, which means you're gonna lose this a lot of times if you're not paying attention, because you have to wait. So watch. You see that little circle coming down? I actually missed it because I waited too long. I'm still going to win this because the computer doesn't care. Um, but a lot of times people will spam that before the circle even starts to get small. Oh, didn't work that time. But anyway, you kind of get my drift. So be careful. Don't spam square until you see the sign come up. Yes, and I think that's legit all that I have for this video. I'm gonna make another video at some point on giant characters, because when they're usually used for cheese, but they're actually pretty viable. They have just about a full combo set. The only thing they're really lacking is perception. They can't use perception, but they can actually do ground attacks, which I didn't realize until I was labbing with one today. Because some of the um, Z Scouter Vegeta is a level 4 DP character, who can go into, or is it level 3? 3 or 4, one of those. But he can transform into his giant form, which is really good for building a team because he doesn't like take a lot of skill points. Not skill point, DP point. But yeah. Anyway, all that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening to my rambling and my excitement for this game. If you like it, drop a like, subscribe so I know who's like trying to hear more things, and give me feedback too on these videos. I'm sure the main feedback is like focus and train of thought slash like not having as long of videos. But for those who are really labbing, or like, I like to listen to YouTube videos on my drives while I'm like not playing, because it's just keeps me mentally present. I like these kind of long form videos because it's just information dumps. And this is like one place to get it. So anyway, all that being said, thanks guys for listening, and I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.